first thing I'll take is my vertical measurements. I'll mark my shoulder to armhole. I got that by using my tape measure around my armhole, and I divided what I got by 2, and that gave me 9 inches. This will also serve as my chest line. I'll mark it here as well. Then I'll mark my shoulder to bust point at 10 inches. Then shoulder to under bust at 14 inches. Then my shoulder to waist measurement at 19.5 inches. And I'll mark that over here as well. Next, I'll connect the lines like so. I'll have to measure that again. The 19.5 inches here. Please ignore that mark. So the next thing to do is to insert my circumference or horizontal measurements. Starting with my shoulder, across my shoulders is 18 inches divided by 2 will give me 9 inches. Then I'll add half an inch allowance for attaching my sleeve. And then I'll label these lines as follows: chest line, my bust line, my under bust line, and my waistline. And on my chest line, I'll mark the same 9.5 inches I marked on the shoulder line and connect the points. And now I'll insert my bust measurement divided by 4, which will give me 10.4 inches on the chest and bust line. So I'll mark 10.4 inches here. And 10.4 inches as well here. And on the underbust line, I will insert my underbust measurement divided by 4, which gave me 8.25 plus 1 inch without allowance. Then on my waistline, I'll divide my waist by 4 and add 1 inch dot allowance, which will give me 10.5 inches. Now mark 10.5 inches here. Now I'll connect the lines. So next I will insert my neck width. I'll mark 3 inches here. And I'll be using a neck depth of 3 inches as well. Now I'll connect my ruler. You can do this, or better still, curve it like so. That's just to show you can use any shape, but use this second one I did. Okay. Now on the shoulder line, I'll go down by 1 inch and I'll connect that to the neck. I'll divide this into 2 equal parts. That will give me 4 inches. I'll mark 4 inches here, and I'll go in by 0.75 inches and draw my armhole curve for the front first and then for the back. So I'll be using this for the back and this for the front. Now I'll mark my bust span, that is the distance from nipple to nipple. Mine is 7 inches, divided by 2 will give me 3.5, and I'll add half an inch allowance. I'll mark that here, and I'll go down by 1 inch from the bust line before marking my bust span. Now I'll connect this into a straight line, and I'll mark half inch on both sides of this line and connect it like so. I'll also mark half an inch on both sides here on the waistline. Remember that I added 1 inch dart allowance. That's what we are taking out now. The reason I added half an inch when marking my bust span is so that after I sew the dart, I'll still have 3.5 inches intact. Now I'll add 1 inch seam allowance on the waistline, the underbust line, my bust line, and my chest line, and I'll connect these points. Then I'll smooth out the sharp points. Now I'll go down by 1 inch from the back neckline. For the back neckline, I mean 1 inch here, and I'll curve that out. Remember, I'm drafting both back and front together on this paper. This is for the front, this is for the back, sorry, and this is for the front. The next thing I'll do is to cut out the front pattern. Now, because I'm going to use this to cut out my back pattern, I'm not going to cut out through this line, but I'll cut along this line for the back armhole. But before I continue cutting, I'll add half an inch seam allowance on the shoulder line. I'm not going to cut through here, but here, that is the back neckline. going to use this to cut my back bodice. So I am going to mark 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and I'll place my front, I'll connect the lines first. And I'll place my front bodice on here. Then trace out my neckline, my shoulder line, the armhole, and the side. And I'll make sure to note these points before I cut out. So next I'll extend this line and cut the neckline for the back. Now I'll transfer my dart, but I'll match these properly. Now we're using my pin to transfer the dart to the back bodice. But this time I'll be going down by 1 inch from the chest line. This is where my dart will start from. That's for the back bodice. I hope you can see the points. Now I'll draw a straight line to connect the points I made. My length is 19.5 inches. That's it there. Now this is the back bodice. Next I'll go back to my front bodice and I'll cut out the actual neckline. Now I'll cut the armhole for the front bodice. Now I have both of them at this point. As you can see, for the back, it has an extension for the zip allowance of 1 inch, and the neckline for the back is raised while the front is lower, and also the armhole for the back is extended outwards while the front is not. So please let me know if you like this video. Leave a comment below, click the like button on this video, and please subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye.